Hello and welcome to No Rest for the Weekend, where we go behind the scenes and talk to the creators of independent entertainment. I'm Jason Godbey, and with me in the Rabbit Hole studio today, making her triumphant return, is our very own No Rest for the Weekend correspondent, Miss Ilaria Malvezzi. Ciao, Ilaria. Welcome back to the show.
Ciao, Jason. Grazie.
It's so nice to have you in the studio.
It's beautiful. What an intro.
Yeah, it's not bad, right?
That's fantastic.
We're going to do the whole show in Italian.
Please, prego.
Which I wouldn't be able to do because I don't speak that much. But
you just move your hands.
yeah,
And
I'm sure because we have you on the show, we have like a huge Italian audience. You know, we're gonna be great in Rome. Where are you from in Italy? You're from
near Florence, actually.
near Florence. So from the north, right?
Yes, north.
Okay, my geography is terrible, but
It's okay.
so we're here to do our film festival year-end wrap-up.
Yes.
So this is for 2018. We covered quite a few film festivals,
We did.
and you've also been to quite a few festivals with your film.
Mm-hmm.
And just to give you an idea, if you haven't seen them already, you can find them. There's past episodes of the show. There's also plenty of footage on our Facebook and YouTube pages, which I'll give you later. But the film festivals that we've covered so far this year include the Brooklyn Film Festival, which we had Jason Godbey on the show, the Soho International Film Festival, which we've also had Sybil Santiago on the show, as well as all of our coverage from there and a couple of interviews that we did on the red carpet there. Then we also did the Hip Hop Film Festival, which we've covered here, as well as the New York Television Film Festival, which we covered, and you were on the show for that. We're going to talk a little later about the Bushwick Film Festival, which we both attended.
Yes.
But before we do that, I wanted to kind of talk about you and your sort of film festival experience, because you have a film. You have actually two films.
I have two films, yes.
You have two short films that you've been schlepping the festival circuit on in and around New York, and also one in Italy as well.
In Italy as well,
Okay.
and also in Austria. We're going to screen it in Austria in April.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yes.
In Venice? Or Vienna?
Yes, exactly.
Two totally different countries.
Yes.
Vienna is in Austria. Venice is in Italy. I do know geography. All right. So we're going to talk about your experience. And you've also just kind of attended some film festivals as well.
I did.
All right.
I did.
So we're going to do like a little rundown here of the festivals that you went to, and we'll kind of go, and we're going to give you a sort of because we don't have a lot of time, but we're going to try to do like a lightning round of like different festivals. But first, before we get to that, let's talk about you and your film that you've been taking. Now you have two films.
I have two films.
Okay, the first one is called
Unvoiced. Directed by our own Jeremiah Kipp.
who's been on the show a couple of times now.
Yes, it's an experimental film, and it talks about schizophrenia. So I play the role of Edera, a woman who suffers of schizophrenia. But then, of course, Jeremiah took the script and brought it to a different level, and it has been really successful in festivals. We are really happy.
And which festivals have you gone through with that?
So we were in Italy, Oniros Film Festival. We won also awards. And then we went to New York. We had many screenings. We had Katra Film Festival. We had Catskill Film Festivals. And then we had New Jersey, the Bright Tavern Film Festivals. And then we are in Los Angeles in December, still with Unvoiced.
Fabulous.
Yes, and other online festivals.
And the other film is called Open?
Open. It's
And what's that film about?
It's about open relationship. It's narrative drama, dialogue-driven and female-driven. So it's two lead actresses, myself and my girl, Annie McGovern, and directed by D.T. Sheridan. And also it's an 8-minute short film, and it just premiered last Saturday at the Bowery Film Festival.
Fantastic.
Yes.
So we're going to go through down like a hit list of film festivals that you've been attending. Yes. Some of these we'd like to cover, but we didn't have the chance for whenever. But Ilaria has been a brave soul and ventured out and covering the film festivals for us. So I just want to get your impressions. First, we're going to go through the ones that you attended and kind of checked out.
Yes, sure.
And then we'll talk about the ones that you've experienced as a filmmaker and kind of like what your experience was. And hopefully this kind of recognizance can help people who are thinking about, which festival should I submit to? And, because I think it's a big question, right, for a lot of filmmakers.
It is.
And I don't know how you came to were you kind of the one producing and saying, oh, we should go here, or
there is a lot of research that needs to be
Right.
done, and actually see now filmmakers contacting me because, oh, you've been successful, what do you do? And there are things you can do to strategize
right?
your festival run in the best way that suits your film, because every film is different.
So you went to the New York Film Festival.
I went to New York Film Festival.
So what were your impressions of that festival? Like, what types of films were there?
Well,
and what did they do shorts and did they do features and they docs? Like, what was the...
Well, it's a big tradition of New York Film Festival. It's a very prestigious film festival, Lincoln Center. So, of course, the biggest film festivals, the biggest film go through the festivals. So we had Wildlife and Private Life, all this Beautiful Boy. So, and there are also probably Oscar-nominated
Right. It's
films.
New York Film Festival is an Oscar-qualifying
Yes,
film
it
festival.
is. Yes,
Okay.
it is.
And then did you see, I don't know how many films did you get to see a lot of films there?
I did, and actually,
Okay.
but also they have documentaries and they have short films. They have New York short film stories, so all the short films filmed in New York City. So you see a lot of New York filmmakers and directors. So also there you can feel the community and the New York vibe. So it's a very beautiful film festival. The venue is amazing.
The venue
Mediators-
is Lincoln Center, you said.
Lincoln Center.
So is
yes.
it the theater at Lincoln Center, or is it
They
like...
use several theaters.
Okay.
Several.
So would you say that that's the kind of film festival if you've made a New York movie, or if like you've made a film, if you have a short film that you made in Kansas, would you submit it there as well?
I think every year when you submit it, you go on the website or Film Freeway, because Without a Box is going to close. So
Right. Oh, okay. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, yeah, I think Film Freeway, Film Freeway took over Without a Box.
Yes.
I think they just bought them.
Yes, they did. But I think every year there are different categories.
Right,
So
right.
depend on your film, make sure you check. And you can always email them. Filmmakers, organizers, they're so good in getting back to you if you have questions. And I ask them, do you think, I have this kind of film, do you think it's suitable? Do you have a theme for this year? And they answer to you.
Really? So
Yeah.
you were able to kind of contact them directly and say,
I
you know,
am.
it's because a lot of people, I think they just kind of submit blindly and they don't know that stuff. And they
Yeah.
don't know, well, there's not knowing, there's also being lazy and not putting the
Yeah.
work in
Yeah.
to try to get,
Yeah.
to find out if, also just researching and seeing, what films have they had before and what works for that film festival.
For
kind of thing.
example, like, they say in entertainment it's about relationships. In film festivals, it is the same.
Right.
I went to the Big Apple Film Festival and I met the organizer, one of the programmers, and actually I submitted it was not selected. So then I emailed her and I said, she's an amazing human being, and she told me, look, we're doing now an edition of Women's in Film for the Big Apple Film Festival. So that's a women-driven film festival. So you submit to that one. It's a better match for your film.
So New York Film Festival, you went to Big Apple Film Festival.
Big Apple Film Festival.
And hopefully that's something that you'll get into next time.
Yes, the women's film version
Right.
of the Big Apple Film
So
Festival.
with Big Apple, when you were there, what did you see there?
The opening night, actually.
You went to opening night.
I went to opening night to see a feature film, and it was really well run. They screened 2 short films and then a feature film, and was very well organized, beautifully, with a Q&A, well done. It was a well done opening.
And then you also went to Chelsea Film Festival?
Yes.
Similar, kind of very New York-y kind of film?
Very New York-y.
Yeah.
And actually, I see a lot of women organizers and programmers like Ingrid Jean-Baptiste. She's a powerhouse at the Chelsea Film Festival, partner up with Richard Stern, a friend of mine. And it was beautifully run, beautiful films. I was very happy. One of my favorite films, actually, was an animated film that I saw. And then they did a lot of panels and other events within the film festival. Also, our friend Danielle Campbell. She was in the panel for Women in Film again.
We ran into her at Bushwick.
We did. We did.
So yeah, that's the other thing too that you'll find out is like, especially like, I mean, we're New York filmmakers, but like, depending on where you are and where you submit to, you're going to start to meet the same people
Yes.
and kind of learn the circuit and figure out where. And I think that's where someone like Jeremiah, who's kind of been around for a minute,
Yes.
he'll have a good idea of like what the territory is and what the film is right for, because a lot of times people submit films and they just kind of like they'll send them out and say, oh, this is a good film festival, but is it the right film festival for your film?
Exactly. And also, to add to it, I met Richard Stern from Chelsea Film Festival at the Bushwick Film Festival because I asked him to take a picture of us.
Oh, my
This
God.
is how we connected. And then I went to Chelsea Film Festival and I met him again. And he invited me, actually, to closing night as a guest. So, again, it's a network of the people you know. And in New York, it's such a tight community.
Sure. And, that's the other thing is like people think that the film festival is kind of all about your film, but it's really all about the people. It's all about the people you're going to meet. Because, who cares if 12 people see your movie? Like, it would be great if you get a packed house to come see your short film or whatever. But, you've got to market to make that happen. And it's really like, do you have the right 12 people seeing your film, or is it the people that you're meeting in the lobby, before and after the films, or whose films are you going to see? So those are film festivals that you attended that you're hoping to get into. Now, the ones that you went to as a filmmaker. Now, let's start with outside of New York.
Yeah.
Please pronounce the name of the one that you went in Italy.
So an Italian version is Oniros. An English version is Oniros,
right?
Oniros, I think.
We'll go with the Italian pronunciation.
Oniros Film Festival in Aosta, which is a beautiful town. So the experience.
Where is that located in Italy?
All the way north, very close
north.
to Mont Blanc.
Okay.
So on the border with France.
Okay.
And
are there a lot of French-speaking folk up there? Because
every kind of languages, because the festivals really was so international. Australians, Irish, Americans, Asians. Like, it was really multicultural. It was beautiful. And it's Italy.
So which film went there? Was that Unvoiced?
Unvoiced.
Okay.
We got a honorable mention in experimental film and filmmaking.
So when you were there, like, what was the experience like? Did they have a lot of American films? Like, if you were an American filmmaker, well, your film is in English, so Unvoiced is in English.
Yes,
Okay,
English.
so
I didn't go as an Italian filmmaker. I wasn't an English.
Did you have to subtitle it in Italian?
Did, yes.
You did.
Yes,
okay.
I did. They were all subtitled.
So if you're an
English.
American filmmaker and you want to submit to this film festival, you have to include Italian subtitles, or
No Italians, English.
Oh, English.
Pretty much across the world, they ask for English subtitles. Never
so even
the
though the
original
film,
language.
so even if it's in Italy, you didn't have to subtitle in Italian. Okay, cool.
In English.
So they did shorts, obviously, because your film was a short.
And features and documentaries.
And they did documentaries as well. Was there anything there that made you say, "Oh, I definitely go back there"?
I definitely go back.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's a group of young kids organizing it, and they did a majestic job. I was so impressed how they did it. It was 4 days, and the venue was a beautiful old Italian theater, and the screenings, the place was fantastic. They organized it very well. And the awards ceremony was fun. We had 2 presenters, and we had entertainment, musician coming. And then we had the after party. And it was, at the end of the 4 days, everybody knew each other. It was such a family feeling.
Were there a lot of films there?
There were a lot of films,
Yeah.
because they didn't take breaks in between screening. They screened all day long, so you can go back and forth. All day long films were screening, so at least 50 if not more films.
If I'm thinking about submitting to film festivals, I'm thinking about where can I get to? Do you think for American filmmakers that it's worth the trip?
It is definitely worth the trip. I have to say that when I submit for my films, it's very important that you can put in a cover letter that if they have a screening, to be able to go to the screening is very important for the filmmaker and for the festivals. So if you select places that are so out of reach, it makes harder for you to reach. So
Sure.
I will try to go, like Italy, because I'm Italian. This summer I'm there
Right.
usually. So I try to submit to festivals that are in that range.
So if you go to Florida in the winter and there's a film festival there, then good idea to try to coincidentally be there or get yourself there somehow.
Yeah, it's very important.
Yeah.
Also, if it's an award ceremony, it is an award. Many times you go and you see they call the winner and the winner is not there. They understand somebody is very busy, of course, but it's always nice to be
Right.
there to create the community. So it's also the location, not just the quality, the film itself, but the location of the film. I think is something you should consider when you submit your film in places you want to go.
So that was Oniros. Then you went to the Catskills Film Festival?
Yeah, very similar feeling
Was that
to
up in
Oniros.
Catskills
I'd
and
say
up-
Catskills. Yes.
What town was it in? Was it in-
Calacun.
Okay.
I loved it.
So that's like in the Catskill Mountain regions up now. Now I'm actually from upstate New York, so that's not too
Yes,
far from where I
it's
grew up.
beautiful.
But that experience, so you're out of town,
Yeah.
probably a different vibe than
Yes.
New York City.
Yes, definitely. Country. Was a country vibe.
And what? So that was also unvoiced.
Was unvoiced.
So are you in an experimental category or just a shorts category for that?
Experimental, and I won a Best Actress.
Oh,
at the
fantastic.
Catskill Film Festival.
And did they do that by category as well, or is it just
Yes,
like okay?
they do categories.
Very cool.
Yes.
So with your film up there, what kind of other films were you seeing, and what else was being screened?
All kind of films, Jason. The film festivals that run for more than one day usually accept diversity in terms of documentaries, animation, drama, comedy, and they try to mix it up within the screenings. So they had option to open up to every kind of genre. And it was a very close experience to Oniros Film Festival because it was very familiar, and at the end everybody knew each other. Was a lot of partying as well, and chance to connect. And it was beautiful. And also now I'm in pre-production with my third film, and we're going to film it in the Catskill. So all the organizers, they post on their page to help me, location-wise. Again, I created a community in 4 days. I have a family in the Catskills.
It's so
now.
it's so important to if you can go to these things, and and that also speaks to budget. Like I think a lot of people, and I've said this on the show before, like they don't put it in their post budget to submit to film festivals, which like we said before, you can get fee waivers, but it's not cheap.
Yeah.
It can get pretty expensive, and travel budget.
Absolutely.
Just getting yourself. So it's very fortunate that you can get up there and start talking to people and get in the filmmaking community.
Absolutely.
So you also did Catskills, and then you did the Katra Film Series.
Yes.
Now I'm familiar with that. I've been to some of their events. Now, how does it? We're trying to get the organizer of that on the show.
Geoffrey Guerrero, he's the man.
So it's a film series, not a film festival. How does it work?
So he
give
has
me like a rundown of that.
He has a lot going on. So Katra Film Festival, it's one a year. It's a big event. But then he created, because there are so many film submissions and so many good quality films, so he created a sidebar edition that runs monthly in Brooklyn. He uses different locations and lounges. And so to give opportunity to the filmmakers, and we screen unvoiced in one of those editions. But then he also organizes Bowery Film Festivals.
Oh, okay.
But also, it's quarterly, I want to believe.
So the series is like once every few months?
Yes.
And then, but Bowery is a film festival.
Yes.
Just like Catskill or any other one.
Exactly.
And then there was another one, I think, is it Venice Week? Is that right?
Yeah, Venice Week was very interesting because I submitted unvoiced, and they didn't select it, but they called me and they said, "Can you come in the jury for us?"
Oh, okay.
And I went, and
So you were kind of like looking at films and judging films?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, very interesting. How was that experience? I've never done that before.
I didn't expect it either, but I said, of course I'm doing. And he was surprised because he said, usually filmmakers get so upset with me and mad at me if I don't select them, but you are here, and then we had a drink afterward, and I have to say the quality was one of the best quality films I've seen.
Fabulous.
It was amazing.
So, and that was where?
Venice.
It was in Venice, Italy. Okay.
Yes,
just as opposed to California or something.
It's a part of Austria. In
Okay.
Vienna.
Right. Opposed to Austria, which is Vienna. Learning geography here on the show. All right. So we're going to talk briefly, because we're running out of time rapidly.
Oh, Jason.
Let's talk about the Bushwick Film Festival.
Bushwick.
So we both attended Bushwick, and by the way, just to let you know, you can find, because we did red carpet interviews there on opening night, and met several of the filmmakers who were involved in the opening night film. And you can find our film festival coverage with Ilaria's interviews on our YouTube page, like youtube.com/getbehindtherabbit and facebook.com/Behind the Rabbit Productions. So if you look up Behind the Rabbit Productions on Facebook, you can see all the, and they're all curated there in playlists and stuff like that. And you'll see her lovely face on the red carpet interviewing folks. So let's talk a little bit about Bushwick. So Quebe Coty founded that, and
another woman,
lovely lady,
Powerhouse.
and a filmmaker. I think I'm going to try and get her on the show if we can.
Yeah,
So their opening night, their opening night was at House of Yes, in Bushwick section of Brooklyn. So it's out there in sort of the middle of Brooklyn-ish, kind of a funky, cool neighborhood, like all the musicians and people live at. It's become what Williamsburg used to be. So it's another one of those hip area of Brooklyn.
Very beautiful.
So opening night, we saw they had it was like a series of short films.
Yeah, about Bushwick.
Bushwick.
Film they were shot in Bushwick.
Basically, what they did was they had several filmmakers that made short films, and they put them all together.
There was a common theme, which is unconditional love.
Right.
And so that was the team, and has to be shot in Bushwick. Yeah.
We saw that. We also saw the opening night ceremony, which was very well done. And then we went to a couple of networking things. You went to a panel.
Oh, yes. Women in Film.
And
it was
then
fantastic.
We went to a networking night, and then we went to the closing night awards ceremony. So I think very well organized, very well done, and they have a lot of films. But definitely it's a kind of thing where you want to check them out and research what films have won there and what films have been selected to try to figure out, does my film fit? Because they've got a certain vibe and it's very Brooklyn, and if you don't fit that, you're probably not going to get in. But they did have stuff internationally. We actually had one of the filmmakers here. She did a film called Vicky, which was a short, and we've had several people submit their shorts to the show, and we might be doing little reviews and things like that, which should be interesting. But all in all, I mean, personally, I would recommend it. I think it's a good...
Absolutely.
Because I think
Natalie Thomas partners up with Quibi. They are amazing.
Right.
Amazing.
They had a lot of
women.
great sponsors.
Great venues. Like every single event was a different venue. So Bushwick support. This was the 11th edition. So I see every festival, every year they grow tremendously, and they bring in more sponsors. So, more money, better venues, better chances to really organize events and really create resources for the filmmakers.
Right, and this year they had quite a few sponsors. They had, I think Canon was one of their sponsors, B&H, different. I had like a chocolate vendor there, and we actually, everybody who showed up on opening night got a nice little goodie bag, which was very nice. And then we did a networking night there, which was in one of the venues, and it was lovely. Like nice people, met some great people. Hopefully, we'll get some of them on the show to talk about their stuff. And they were also international, so. They, I think they're very open.
They are.
In terms, so it seems very, very eclectic. And I didn't get a chance to see a lot of the films there, unfortunately, but I did have some people send them to me. And a lot of international films, actually. A lot of people
and
think shot overseas.
And also, the fact that they film also overnight give a lot of chances for more edgy films.
Right.
So
it's not just like stuff you're seeing at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yes.
Yeah.
There are some films shot like 12 o'clock screenings until 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they had a lot of films and they went long. But the other good thing that I thought was well done in the curating is that everything kind of seemed to be in the same neighborhood.
Yes.
So you didn't have to find, you didn't have to schlep all over Brooklyn trying to find a venue.
True.
Everything was like in the same 2 or 3 block radius, which was really nice.
Something that I also appreciated in Bushwick Film Festival was the presenter, Aaron Witzkan. He's a comedian, so it was so important because I see the Q&A and I see the presentations, and also at the Chelsea Film Festival they hire a comedian to do the closing night, and then bring so much energy. The energy in the theater opening night, it was fantastic.
It was really
I felt
great.
Like everybody knew
and
each
you felt very
other.
welcome, and we came in as press, so they made sure we had good seats, which was really nice.
And also because I think the comedians not only engage with the filmmakers about the film, but also the personality of the filmmakers comes out.
Right.
So everything is much more personal. So the feeling that I have about Bushwick was very familiar.
Right. I thought it was very well done. We do have to wrap up. We're right out of time here. I'm
Just on
hoping we're
time.
chiseling this one. We're chiseling this one out. But thank you so much for coming.
Of course, and definitely submit to Bushwick Film Festival
Yeah.
and Chelsea Film Festival, the Big Apple Film Festival, all of the New York
These are all great. But pick your battles depending on your budget, and definitely research. Thanks so much for coming.
Of
Once
course.
again, you have 2 films, Unvoiced.
Unvoiced and Open.
And where can people find you on the web to find out more about what you're doing?
IlariaMalvezzi.com. IlariaMalvezzi.
And you're also on social media on Twitter and Instagram?
Yes, I am with Movenze, Movenze.
Terrific. Thanks so much. And
Thank you,
thank you guys
Yay.
for listening and for watching and taking this trip down the rabbit hole. For more episodes of this show, you can always find them on our website, btrp.nyc. You can also listen to us on all the major podcast channels, including Anchor, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and Spotify. Once again, thanks so much for coming and being our guest on the show. Grazie. Grazie mille. For Behind the Rapper Productions, I'm Jason Godbey. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time.
Ciao.